Hey guys, you're on the couch with Jamie and Tish. We're here to share our views on spirituality, religion, and relationships. Today we saw this beautiful quote and we could relate to this, and we just want to share some of our thoughts with you about this.
So the quote says, "The best kind of relationships begin unexpectedly." When you get that astonished feeling and everything happens so suddenly. That's why you don't look for love. It comes to you just at the right time. The time you never thought it would have.
You know, when we first heard this, or when we first read this, it just reminded us of how we started. We've known each other for many years and we've never seen each other in this type of way.
No.
Ever. And you know, it's still surprising.
Never.
Never. It's just weird. It was not, we didn't think each other was not attractive.
Yeah, we were friends.
Yeah, but it just couldn't go past that level. It just stayed right there, you know? And more importantly, I should say even now, sometimes we look at each other as like, we really together?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, to make it more exciting, she'll be my wife. Yeah. She'll be my wife.
What I think is important about this is that though you don't go looking for love, or I guess you don't, I'm not even gonna say you don't go looking for love, because you have to be intentional about dating if you want a committed relationship.
Put yourself out there.
Yeah, you have to kind of put yourself out there, not in a thirsty, hey, look at me, I need love, a needy type of way. But you prepare yourself. You know, I cannot tell you how many YouTube videos, sermons, relationship seminars, church programs, family, marital programs that I have been to, just trying to educate myself about the right type of love and what true love looks like. You know, and before Jamie and I got together, I think we were both in relationships where we thought we would spend the rest of our lives with those people. And, you know, it just turned out that those relationships no longer served us. So I guess it's through the heartbreak or through
the failure of that relationship.
Those relationships, you kind of find yourself along the way, and you figure out, you know, your likes and dislikes. And I think you get to a point in your life where you know yourself enough. You know enough about yourself to finally be able to identify who would be a suitable partner for you. I mean, me personally, I'm older.
She doesn't look it though.
I'm older, and I always used to say, you know, I never date a guy who's younger than me. I would never. Shout out to Jan Taylor, my friend in the UK. He was like, that's exactly who you're gonna marry. You're gonna marry someone who is younger than you, because you're always saying that you're never gonna date someone who's younger than you. And I wholeheartedly, I mean, if I met a guy and he told me he was younger than me, that was it right there. You know, and I think it's those types of shallow things that can kind of keep us from getting into a relationship with someone who is worthwhile. You know, even though Jamie is younger than me, he's a lot more mature than a lot of other guys that I've dated. I think one thing a lot of women fail to look for in a partner is that emotional intelligence. You know, we want the guy with the muscles, the sports car, Did you just do that?
No, I didn't.
The muscles, the sports car, you know, the high-paying job, educated. You know, there is a criteria that society has told us we have to look for in a male. And I'm not knocking any of those things, because
Of course not.
I don't want to be with someone who has nothing to bring to the table. You have to have something to bring to the table.
I'm telling you.
But at the same time, a lot of those implicit biases that I had and just shallow beliefs about what my partner should be like, should look like, as Jamie would often say, you know, these people can look good on paper, but when you get into a relationship with them and it gets down to the meat of the matter, what are they really bringing? Because you can have a good looking, educated liar or a manipulator who makes a lot of money but does not serve you, does not pour into you, and who only takes from you and beats you down, quite frankly, either physically or emotionally, spiritually psychologically.
One main important thing about most of this is you don't go looking for love, but you avail yourself to love.
Yes.
And that is very important, because if you're available to love, then when the right person or the person that is worth it comes along, the love is already there. So it's not that you're going out there trying to love to Tom, Stephen, Harry, or Nikisha, Stephanie, and everybody else, but you stand your ground until the right person comes. And because you're available to love, it becomes natural. And we're not saying it doesn't come without issues. Truth is, you know, the wise man, I call him Bob Marley, he made a statement. He said, truth is, everyone is going to hurt you, but there are some people who are worth hurting for. And that is so important to me, because Tashelle doesn't know everything about me, so she may do some things that may hurt me. But it's through loving her that I'm like, you know what, I know she ain't meant to do this, so let's just work through it. And this is what happens in relationships all the time. When you sit down and analyze the situation itself, these persons who are really there to build you up may hurt you from time to time, but it doesn't take away from the fact that they want to build you. If today she hurts me, I take away that small issue to say that she's trying to destroy me. When I look through what we've been through, she's built me with my patience. She's helped me to be more developed, more responsible.
He said I built him with his patience. That's a nice way of saying that I'm irritating and he has to bear with me.
Oh man, I will not speak to that. But it's just these things that you look out for, because you can't focus on the negative stuff in a relationship, because truth is they will exist. But if you have the positive traits that you can grab hold of, then make it work.
Yeah, that 80-20 rule where they say you're only going to get 80% of what you need from a relationship. But let's look at the flip side of that, because sometimes you have persons who are in relationships and they can clearly see that this relationship isn't serving me. It's not growing me. This person is not speaking my love language. This person does not see me as their equal, especially a lot of us who get into relationships with narcissists. You know, there's a time when you have to decide that I need to step away from this because this is not growing me. Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of funny how Jamie and I kind of, I guess, got past beyond the friend zone.
I got out, guys. She thought she could have held me back. I'm sorry.
So, like, I used to live in the UK, and it was simple things like, you know, as a woman, especially a single woman at times, you want male companionship, and he availed himself. There would be times when I would call him when I was doing my weekly ironing, and we would just chit chat on the phone. We had that time difference, but you know, he would always avail himself to speak with me. He never passed his place, or he was never inappropriate with me. He never made me feel uncomfortable. He didn't sexualize me in any way. He was always a gentleman, but I guess he fed off of my energy and just knew that that would not be acceptable on any level. But he was there, you know, we did things like work out together, go to church together. Sometimes I would come home on holiday and he would give me a lift to church. And it's through spending those little moments together that we were able to talk and just to build a deeper relationship. And then, I don't know, like the quote said, you get that, you when you get that astonished feeling and everything happens so suddenly, like literally that was it.
Yes.
It just happened so suddenly.
Yeah.
I just woke up one day and I'm like, am I attracted to Jamie? You know?
Yeah. One of the main things for me is, I don't know if you remember, but we had watched this video where it says, creating bonds or tying bonds, like the more time.
Oh, soul ties.
Yes.
Yeah, I sent him this video on soul ties. Yeah.
And to be honest, it was those little things, or those things that we thought that was little, that started tying us to each other. And when it came into, I guess, blooming, was when I was like, wow. Because it, as she mentioned, it was a lot of small things we did together. One of the times that we were together, we went to get some mangoes. And just on our journey going up, I was just looking at her saying, this girl is just so beautiful.
We went into the bush, people, like mango bush in East End. For those of you who are from Cayman, for those of you who are not, it's a rural part of the country where they have a lot of farmland and things like that. So,
and I was just there saying, like, I think I crushing on her. I think I crushing on her, but she don't got know that. Like, I still in the friend zone. Like, you're not gonna know anything. But it was really through these small things that we got closer. And it's through getting closer that we found how compatible we were. Of course, we did differ. Yes. But whilst we differed from each other, we saw that there were some main things that we connected on, and that was what drove it home for us, if I can say that.
And like in the beginning of our relationship, we didn't have a honeymoon phase. Like, we're in the honeymoon phase now, 2 years later. But our relationship it was not all peaches and cream when we started. It was very difficult. I had like a lot of emotional baggage, but
in a better place.
So we didn't start out great, but we built.
Yes, we had a solid foundation to work with through our friendship.
Yeah, you know, a lot of the pretense and things that you'd usually get in a fresh relationship, we didn't have that, because like he had seen me cry. He had, you know, he was a shoulder for me to lean on in the past. Like, I didn't have any, I guess, barriers up, except for the friend zone, the friend zone barrier, whatever you want to call that. You know, he saw me ugly. He saw me.
That didn't happen, because she's not ugly. I understand that. I
understand. Saw me
pretty every day.
He saw me anxious, you know, like he was aware of who Tishelle was. And I think that really helped our relationship. We had that firm foundation, but it was unexpected. Kind of, it was really weird.
And you know, for some relationships, like being that you don't have the eyes to see negativity in the beginning. So if he's a liar, oh no, he's not a liar.
Rose-colored glasses, like viewing it through rose-colored glasses,
sometimes when you see the harsh side of a relationship, people tend to crumble and break from the beginning. But when you avail yourself to love, it comes natural to fight for what you want.
Yeah.
And I feel that is what occurred in our relationship. Because as she mentioned, I saw every side of her. She saw some sides of me. And it didn't take away from the desire in working out our relationship. And I guess I feel we can confidently say that after 2 years, we here. We haven't made it because we haven't started anything yet. But for what it's worth, our fights, our continual determination for working through things is what got us through, also with the help of God, of course.
Yeah, like a lot of people say you shouldn't get into a new relationship until you've unpacked all of the baggage from the previous relationship. And I am a firm believer in that. I've always told myself, you know, after exiting a toxic relationship or a relationship that just didn't work, you know, I had to take that time to go through therapy, to have time to process that, go through that grief process and everything. But as much as relationships can damage you, relationships can also heal you. And I'm just happy that like Jamie is a secure person in terms of attachment styles. He is that secure attachment style. I guess we can talk about that another time, attachment.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
So yeah, so that really helped me to heal. You know, just having someone there who was reliable, whose love I could depend on, and who, you know, not saying he never got upset with me or we never had any issues, but at the end of the day, I had the reassurance that even though we have issues, I'm not going to be abandoned. I'm not going to be abused. I'm not going to be manipulated. You know, we can work through our issues in a healthy way. Knowing that even though I may have whatever it is going on with me, he is not gonna jump ship because of that, you know?
We in it to win it. So
yeah. And I gave him that in return, of course.
Yes.
And we took the time to get counseling and just guidance and do therapy and do all of these pieces that make your relationship healthier.
Yeah.
So
it would be remiss of us not to highlight that there is a godly way to approach dating, courtship, and marriage. Unfortunately, we have not always approached forming romantic relationships in a godly way, which has led to a lot of the hurt and toxicity we've experienced in our past relationships. They were by no means ideal. However, they were real experiences, and we just want to acknowledge that God's way is the best way.
You know, I watched this video. I think it's Diary of a Mad Black Woman. I think that's what it was. But this guy took this woman who was going through separation on a date. And when he was dropping her back home, she asked him, like, what do you want from me? And he said, you know, I just want to take you on a date. And she said, all men want something when they do this. And he looked at her and he said, some men come to restore. And
did he say that?
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Yeah, he said some men come to restore.
I need to watch that movie over.
And it was just that, or was that Medea's Happy Family?
I don't know.
One of them, but she asked him, what do you want? And he was like, I just want to take you on a date, get to know you. And she's like, all men come looking for something when they're taking women out on dates. And he looked at her and said, well, some men come to restore. And that stood out to me. It's not that I'm trying to be, quote unquote, Superman, because if I should crumble or whatever, then she crumbles too. At the end of the day, I want to build her as she's a person.
I'm crumbling if you crumble.
I want to build her and make her a better person overall. I don't want to make her a better person just because we're in a relationship. You know, in any situation at all. When she stands tall, I can stand tall next to her.
Yes, I can truly say that. Like, he is my biggest cheerleader. I wouldn't say biggest because have my mother and my father, and
Well, I kind of big.
but he is a cheerleader. You know, he celebrates me when I'm up. If I'm down, he is, you know, that hand up. You know, he motivates me to be my best self. And it's a breath of fresh air being in a relationship with someone who isn't competing with you or who doesn't feel like, because people describe my personality as being strong. They say that I have a strong personality. And I feel like for some people who I've dated in the past, they have struggled with that. You know, I've been told that I'm difficult and
too strong.
I just don't yield easily to ideas or to anything that I don't want to do. And Jamie, he can honestly probably get me to do backflips and handstands and to juggle balls with an apple in my mouth just because of the way that he handles me, you know, handles my emotions. And even when, you know, I'm quite the anxious person. So even when like my anxiety starts to take me over, just how calm and collected he is and how he's able to, for lack of a better word, check me. It has helped me to grow and to have more emotional control and just be more stable. Yeah. So
there was this video we had watched some time ago, and one of the things the guy said in building a relationship is to be caring instead of critical.
Yeah, I'm critical.
And I'm very caring.
I'm trying.
Yes, she is. Don't deny that. But for me, when you're more caring than critical, it builds security on the other person's side. Because what it does for them is, whilst they acknowledge that they're flawed and they make mistakes, because we're caring, we're not going to focus on that, but we want to build you past that. So if, like me, I can be messy at times. So instead of, so instead of saying, you're just a nasty person and I can't live with you, instead, Jamie, how about next time if you need to put a reminder on the door, put a reminder somewhere just to pick up these things and this happen. That is in a caring way, because whilst it can be annoying for someone who is very neat and clean and tidy, at the same time, they put self aside and be careful or caring towards the other person.
Just realizing that your strengths and your weaknesses are different and just having patience with that. Yeah, I've seen a lot of growth in myself in like my ability to manage just my emotional intelligence and being more tactful. And sometimes I'll handle a situation and I'll be like, did I do good? I feel like I did good, you know?
Yes, you did.
I didn't curse that person out, or I didn't threaten them, or I didn't
get in the ring.
And he's like, yes, you did good. You were, you know, your tone was better. And so just a restoration, and not only restoration, but his ability to effectively build me as a woman, as a lady. You know, and vice versa.
Yeah, there's this thing there. What I compare relationships to, or what I take notes from, is just like a businessman. Like after every few months or 6 months or whatever the case is, they check in to see how they're doing. That is what all relationships require, because when you check in to see how you're doing, then you can have a part of criticism, or what they'll call it, constructive criticism. So I see that you're short hair, I like to see you build there. And if you can do that with your partner, the only outcome of that can be growth. And it's only because you're taking the time to check in, to check up, and then check out.
Don't check out.
Yeah, you check out like we had our session. This is what I need to build in. Now let me check out and start working on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So the quote, best kinds of relationships begin unexpectedly.
Yeah.
we can attest to that.
Yeah.
That might not be the case for some others,
Yeah.
but we found that relatable. And we did have that astonished feeling, like, even today, I was like, are we really together?
Like you, man, woman. That's my boo, yo.
Yeah. It happened so suddenly. So you're not thirsty for love, because you first have to be able to fill your own love cup, and know that love comes from Christ. And it is in him that you're able to feel whole.
Yes.
And to garner that true unconditional love. But in a relationship, you have to prepare yourself to receive the love that you're looking for. Because a lot of people, a lot of women I know, they want someone to love them. They want someone to love them. They want someone to love them. But when love presents itself, they don't know how to accept it. You know, they run from it because they're used to a toxic, skewed, messed up description or perception of love that they don't know how to identify true love or pure love, right? So be prepared. Be prepared. So be prepared for love when it finds you.
Yes. You know, to add to that real quick, Will Smith said something some time ago. I keep saying some time ago. But anyways, Will Smith said this. He said, I'm not looking for a woman to give me love. I'm looking for a woman to share my love with.
Yeah.
So really think about it right now. If a man and a woman can keep that same energy, watch you now. If you're looking to share your love with someone, it means that you have been availing yourself, preparing yourself, that when you meet the right person, you have something to give them. It's not that as you meet them, you hold out your hand. Like, well, you have to give me. Yeah, no.
Love me.
No, it has to be a state where both of you can pour into each other. It has to be a state where
1 + 1 = 1.
Yes.
Yeah. Two whole people coming together.
Yeah. You have to be able to build a person. You have to.
Yeah.
Because you if it is that you're gonna always receive and I'm gonna always give, one day I can get tired of giving. And you can get lazy by always receiving.
Yeah.
And there's nothing healthy or positive about that.
Yeah.
But when both of you can pour into each other, as Tishelle said earlier on, it only makes your relationship that much more enticing. It makes it blooms further than any others because you're growing together.
Yeah. All right. Well, this was another session on the couch with Jamie and Tish. Thanks for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, you can like it, share it, and if you want to be notified when we release more content, you can subscribe to our channel. Thanks. Bye.